These 10 things kill your value in front of a man. But if you think I'm about to say something like, when you don't dress sexy, then you're sadly mistaken. There's so much more that goes into how a man values you that has nothing to do with whether you're hot or not, which is exactly why majority of women don't pay attention to these areas, and then they completely kill their value to the man that they actually want to be with. Which is why I have to warn you, if you don't pay attention to all 10 of these points or you skip any of them, you're probably going to make exactly that mistake when you least want to make it with the guy that you actually want to be in a relationship with. Let's begin. For number one, we're going to talk about pursuit because women are tricking you. The world is tricking you. Society is tricking you. Do you want to know how they're tricking you? They're making you think that because you're more empowered, which you are, that now it becomes your responsibility to go for what you want. It is a mistake, and the men are actually devaluing you because of that. Let me explain to you how this works, right? So you go and you start pursuing a guy. When I say pursuing, you start thinking to yourself, okay, I see the girlies say that maybe we should approach guys the way that they approach us. Tell them they're beautiful, tell them they're handsome, ask them for their number, all of these different things. Because if I see a guy that I want, I should be going for that guy. This is exactly what happens. You're thinking, I'm coming across as genuine, I'm showing him my appreciation, I'm showing him how much I want him, which are all good positive signs. But the problem with that is guys don't really know how to respond to women who pursue them. Just gonna be super real with you. A lot of times what also happens is they build a perception of you around the idea that you're doing what most women they deem to be valuable or desirable would not do, which is pursue them. Because in their mind, they're thinking, okay, most women who are getting approached by a ton of men don't even have the time, energy, or capacity to be approaching or pursuing men because they're spending all their time and energy literally fighting off the hundreds and thousands of men who are trying to approach them. And that's enough energy spent already. So the only way she could have the capacity to pursue me is if she was desperate, undesirable, or just flat out weird, right? Now, I know a lot of you aren't necessarily in that position, or you're like, hey, I'm not desperate, I'm not undesirable, I just approached the guy because I wanted to approach the guy, which is exactly why we're having this conversation today. Because I don't want you making these very easy mistakes, having the wrong mindset or approach to the way that you go about your relationships, and then coming across in a way that I know you don't want to come across. Because I'll be honest with you, and I'm telling you this as a guy, I'm tall, okay? So when I go out, I do get approached by women. I'm not saying, okay, let's have an honest conversation. Two things will happen. Like I was gonna tell you a little bit of a white lie. I'm gonna have an honest conversation with you right now. One that will happen is he'll just flat out deny you, which that's pretty embarrassing. The second thing that will happen, which happens if you meet a certain threshold of attractiveness, I'm just trying to be real with you, the guy will still be concerned. But in his concern of the fact that you pursuing him probably means you're less desirable, he'll say, but she does meet the threshold of attractiveness to the point where I wouldn't not do it, if you know what I mean. I wouldn't not sleep with her. And so if she's gonna pursue me and approach me, even though I deem her to be less desirable than other women that I would pursue, I'll still use her, or I'll just not be honest with her about the fact that I don't actually plan on building a real relationship with her. I'll allow her to continue pursuing me, and then we'll see what we can really get or take advantage of in the process of her pursuing me, okay? I'm just telling you the honest truth of those are the two directions that guys will go. And I don't want you making that mistake. And I know sometimes it's hard because you're thinking, well, I can't ask for his number. No, you can't. Okay, that's gonna kill your value. I can't go up to him and approach him for, no, you can't. Let him come to you. If you guys are making eye contact, you're smiling at him, he's smiling at you, he should be able to come up to you. For no reason, under no circumstances, should you be the one approaching a man. I don't care where it is, I don't care what event you're at, I don't care who's around you, I don't care which friend is hyping you up, do not do it. Allow men to approach you. If they don't have the courage to approach you, too bad, so sad. That's all you have to be thinking about, all right? For number two, we're gonna talk about reassurance. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting your man to compliment you every now and again. I don't have a problem with that, and I know it makes you feel good as a woman. Here's where things fall apart. If reassurance becomes your only way of feeling good about yourself, you're gonna have an issue, because you're gonna be like a reassurance pit hole. You're going to be like a reassurance quicksand, a reassurance void. Meaning, what's supposed to be happening is you and your self-esteem help you feel pretty. So when you get dressed up, when you wear the things that you feel you look good in, that compliment your body, the colors that you feel look good on you, you look in the mirror and your self-esteem tells you, I'm that B word. I look good. I look sexy. My dump truck, my ass looks amazing. My yitties look amazing. My body looks nice and tight. I'm so desirable. I'm so sexy. That's what your self-esteem is supposed to do for you. Void and without any man or his explanation or his compliments or whatever, right? Anything he says is just a cherry on top. What happens when you become a reassurance pit hole, a reassurance void? You plus the man's words are the only way you're able to feel good about yourself, the only way you're able to feel pretty. This becomes a void because now, anytime you want to lift yourself up, you need him to say something to you, about you, compliment you on your dress, compliment you on your look, compliment you on your whatever. The problem with this is it doesn't give the man that you're dating or talking to the space to not do that sometimes, not because he doesn't think you're pretty, not because he doesn't think you look sexy, but simply because he just didn't say it this time. Because he's thinking about other things. He might have other things on his mind. He might have his own anxieties that he's going through at the time. And so the reason that this really kills your value is if you become that girl that's like, do you love me today? Oh, you haven't spoken to me in 5 minutes. Do you hate me now? Oh, you didn't compliment my dress today. Do you think I look disgusting? Do you think I look like a bum? Oh, you hate me, don't you? You just hate me so. Trust me, that is exhausting, okay? I know as a woman, you're not experiencing what it's like to receive that. So you might just think it's cute or quirky. It's exhausting because when a guy feels like he constantly has to lift you up just to feel good about yourself, it starts to feel like he has to carry you on his back. Like he doesn't have a partner. He has like a baby that he always has to soothe all the time. No, there. I still think you're pretty, even though I didn't compliment you in the past 2 minutes. No, there. Even though I haven't, told you and confessed how much I love you in the past 5 minutes, I still love you. That is exhausting. And I don't want you to think that, oh, well, these are just my insecurities and I need his words to be able to feel good about myself. You need to work on yourself so that your self-esteem is the thing that's holding you up. And yes, of course, you can like and enjoy his compliments, but you don't want that to be the thing that you need in order to feel good about yourself. Number 3, we're going to discuss compliments. Now, I talked about reassurance and compliments as they relate to the reassurance that he will give you. Now, this is another easy mistake to make with men that will kill your value. You enjoy compliments, and this is the very interesting part. You enjoy compliments, so you think, okay, well, the men probably really enjoy compliments. Yes, but also no, because the way that they enjoy compliments is different from the way you enjoy compliments. For guys, if you make this mistake of over complimenting them, I put a whole bunch of different compliments that you could give a guy. You're so handsome, you're so sexy, oh my God, you're out of my league. I've never met a guy as amazing as you. Your muscles are so huge, you're so big, you're so tall. You're just like a god. I've never met someone as amazing and awesome as you. You're not even like a human being. This does not come across how you want it to come across. Guys do not respond properly to being worshipped. I'm going to say it again so that we're on the same page. Men that you actually want to take you seriously, you actually want them to value you, they do not respond well to being worshipped. They will start to see you as a fan as opposed to seeing you as an equal, as a partner. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I seen that you did this, you did a good job with that and all that other stuff, right? But when you're over complimenting a guy, when you're going above and beyond and using compliments as a way to like persuade him into liking you, you're not going to get the proper effect. In fact, you're going to have the opposite effect. Because as you're trying to over compliment him, thinking that, oh my God, this is making me so much more desirable in his mind, he's thinking to himself, what is she overcompensating for? And why is she going above and beyond trying to compliment me as if she's trying to convince me to like her through these compliments? I also feel like she's probably a fan and probably a less desirable woman to all the other men, which is why she's trying so hard and using all these different tactics to try and make me or convince me to want to be with her through these compliments. for number 4, we're going to discuss availability. This one is very, very easy to have things fall apart. I put here a little bit of a fake schedule for the week, right? So you got your friends, you got a combination of work, dinner, things to do for yourself, things to do with other people throughout the weekday. And then the weekends, of course, you might have birthdays, family events, you might go out to the bar, the club, or whatever with some of your girlfriends, right? Availability is such an important thing to manage because it also is affecting your value and how he sees you in the relationship. Do not make the mistake of, it's not just being available in the sense of saying, okay, well, I'll hang out with him and I'll drop everything that I'm doing to spend some time with him and not be with my girlfriends. It's also this very, very easy mistake. This is a very easy one to make. You allow him to get used to the ability of getting access to you the day of, okay? Because sometimes, let's just say for the sake of example, right, in this schedule here, on the Thursday, you already had a plan to work and then maybe relax after. So you weren't particularly doing anything important during that Thursday afternoon. And just happened that he sent you a message on Thursday at, let's say, 2 p.m. while you're still at work and you haven't even gotten back home yet and said, hey, I'm free this Thursday or today, which is Thursday, and I'm just trying to see, do you want to do something later? Maybe I could come over, watch a movie. You come over to my place, watch a movie. And you're thinking to yourself, well, I was already planning to relax today. I was already planning to have a chill night today. So what's the harm? And in the process of me relaxing, I relax with him instead of relaxing by myself. Tomisin, you're an idiot. I'm already free. So there's nothing wrong with me saying I'm free when I'm actually free. It's the truth. Here's the mistake though, and this is why it kills your value. You are allowing him, your man is a dog, okay? Any guy you date, you're dating a dog. And at the beginning of your relationship, your dog is a puppy. You are always training your puppy to understand how to go about this relationship. When you allow this to happen on that Thursday and you allow him to book and schedule you the day of, show up and actually get access to you that same day, he's gonna say, oh, interesting. So that means that anytime I want her, I order her up like DoorDash and she'll be available to me. I'm a man, okay? So I'm telling you how this, it's so subconscious. They'll now say, okay, so the next time I want to see her, I won't think about planning or scheduling seeing her until I know I want to see her in that moment. I assure you, it will become a habit for him to say, I'm not thinking about scheduling. I'm not thinking about planning. I'm not thinking about organizing. When I'm ready to see her, I will message her that day. And my expectation will be, just like of this Thursday, when I was able to get access to her at 2 p.m. and then see her at 6:30 after we finished work, I will continue to do that throughout the relationship and never spend a Sunday, a Monday thinking about how to plan or schedule for the upcoming Thursday. Okay? What that will also do is that will diminish your value in his eyes because he's going to deem it that you are less viable and desirable if anytime he needs you, you show up to his place like DoorDash. Do not be DoorDash for men. Even if you're actually available and he schedules or tries to plan a date with you or seeing you on the same day, you tell him no. Because you need to be communicating, I am not available or accessible whenever you feel like it. I'm available or accessible when you put an effort into saying, okay, it's Monday, I want to see you on Friday, let's plan and organize our date for Friday. That's the only way I'm an accessible woman to you. And I know it sounds like, oh, well, that sounds like a game. Tomisin, that's a game. Why do we have to play all these games? Listen, I don't make the rules. I'm a teacher here to facilitate as a vessel your understanding of how men perceive things, receive things, so that you can be received and perceived the right way how you want and then get treated how you want. So the reality of it is men do not respond well to you being available same day. They respond a lot better to having to plan and organize the time that they see you, because even that little bit of effort in the planning and the organization helps them understand that your accessibility is a lot harder to get to than it is another woman who he can just see the same day. For our 5th thing here, we have overspending. Now I know some of you will say, this guy, he's an idiot. This YouTuber, he has no idea what the hell he's talking about. Because why the hell would I spend any money on a man? I'm not that dumb. I'm not that stupid. He's not talking to me. Let me give you an example that I've helped women with that are in these type of situations where things can actually go a turn that you never expected, okay? Let's say the timeline is 2 months that you've been talking and dating a guy, okay? But let's say in this 2 months, you're dating, but you haven't gone on any dates, okay? You've been there. We've all been there. Even though you're talking to this guy, there's no real established seriousness to the way that you guys are actually dating. So throughout these 2 months, you've been seeing him, but it's not like he's putting in real effort to taking you out and doing a whole bunch of stuff for you, okay? You know the type of situations I'm talking about. Now, let's say during this timeline, because this does happen to some of you, his birthday comes up. We could even implant here, whether it's his birthday, Christmas, or whatever holiday, New Year's, whatever holiday we want to implement here. And you start thinking to yourself, okay, well, it's his birthday. Yeah, we haven't been, going on dates in these 2 months, but it's his birthday and I want to make him feel special for his birthday. So for his birthday, I want to purchase some gifts for him. I want to take him out on a nice dinner because I want to show him that I really like him. I really care about him. I want to make him feel special. I want to show him that he's special. So this is what I want to do for him on his birthday. See how easy it is to fall for the trap. Because when we actually break it down, even though you're not wrong in wanting to make him feel special, let's ask ourselves, what has he done for you? In the 2 month span in which you guys have been together, which you guys have been talking, you guys have gone on no actual dates. The only time you guys see each other is at either your place or at his place, where maybe the most that you'll do in terms of paying for anything is ordering Uber Eats or DoorDash like we were just talking about, right? And that's not him actually investing any of his money into you. Now, I'm not saying you got to be a gold digger. You got to be looking for a guy to spend thousands of dollars on you. But see, this is such an easy trap. You're trying to make a guy feel special that has had no interest in making you feel special. Not that he has to spend thousands of dollars on you to make you feel special, but he clearly, in the 2 month span, it hasn't really been a concern of his to say, I want to take her out, make her feel special, have her feel good about herself and feel good about how seriously I'm taking this relationship. So ask yourself, why are you going out of your way to spend your hard-earned money to make this man feel special because it's his birthday when he hasn't spent the past 2 months doing that for you even one time? You see how easy it is to fall for the trap. You might be thinking overspending would never happen to me, but then it is, because you're spending money on a guy who's spending nothing on you. Okay, so I know it feels like, damn, am I really going to have to be paying attention to all of these things? Yes, because your job as a woman is to be observant. Your job as a woman is also to understand, am I coming across desperate or not? Am I coming across as a woman who's trying way too hard or not? Because I know it sounds super toxic. The men do not respond well to women who are trying excessively hard to prove something to them. We are not designed for women to be trying excessively hard to prove something to us if we're taking that woman seriously, right? We're designed to feel like we have something to prove to that woman, if anything, in that relationship dynamic. Point number 6, we're going to talk about apologizing. Specifically, we're going to discuss apologizing for your boundaries. Do not do this. It kills your value. So let's give an example of a boundary here, right? No going to his house on the first night. You know, I tell you not to do that. But let's say, for the sake of example, this boundary that you have, right, is a little bit loose because you're like, you know what, this is a boundary if I kind of don't like the guy, he's not that attractive, or I'm not really feeling the vibe of the date. But if I'm feeling the vibe of the date, we'll see where things go. We'll see how the night goes. This formula is going to represent what's a mistake and what it should be like. How your relationship with your boundaries should be is, hey, you know what? I and this guy come with my boundary here, okay? Meaning, if this guy wants me, I'm going to come with this boundary. That's the only way that we can be together. What some women will do sometimes is you'll go on these dates, you'll have this boundary here. Then when he says, hey, I've been vibing with you, and you're vibing too, this is the difference here. When you actually like him too, when you're actually attracted to him too, and you have this rule for yourself, But you feel like, oh, but this rule's gonna disappoint him. But I don't want to disappoint this guy because this is not like the other guys. I actually like this guy. And then you have this boundary box here. You're like, listen, I want to come over to your place. I really do. But, I'm sorry. It's just like me, and I feel like I can't because I can't do it. I don't want to be one of those girls that goes over on the first night and then we sleep together and and then you view me wrong and then maybe you think like I'm a hoe or something. Like I just feel so bad. Like, but I really want to go. And see, this is the problem. As you're explaining the boundary, this is the psychological effect of what you're saying and how you're saying it, because everything is being perceived. It doesn't even sound like you actually want to have this boundary. It doesn't even sound like you actually believe in the standards that you're setting. It sounds like you're saying, oh, well, if it wasn't for the fact that, I have this boundary, then I would definitely come over to your place. But he's not hearing that you have a boundary. He's hearing that you feel like doing this thing and you just probably need to be persuaded, which does not come across how you want it to come across. When you set boundaries, you need to make men feel like this is my boundary, whether you like it or not. And I have no hard feelings whether if you feel like this boundary is too much, you don't want to be with me, too bad, so sad. There will be lots of other men who want to be with me. I know it will make those of you who are accustomed to being people pleasers feel very awkward and weird. But there's nothing wrong with that awkwardness and that weirdness. I promise you it will pass. And even you being mean to a guy or feeling like you're being mean, the men will respond accordingly. The ones that aren't interested in you, they'll go off about their business. The ones that do have interest in you, they will continue to pursue you regardless of you being mean by setting boundaries. Anytime you're communicating a boundary, you do not apologize for it as if you're sad to have it. If it's your boundary, you stand on it. You don't have sometimes boundaries because you're not going to be able to build successful relationships that way where guys actually respect you and value you. Men respect and value women who have hard boundaries. And I know it sucks, but you have to even approach your relationships in your talking stages and dating stages saying to yourself, I don't care how much I like a guy. I don't care if I feel like that guy is my husband on the very first date. He will still abide by these boundaries if he wants to be with me. And I feel no ways about setting these boundaries because I know deep down in my heart, if this guy is really my husband, then he will be more than okay abiding by my boundaries. You have to convince yourself, you have to brainwash yourself into understanding that a function of the guy that you are actually going to be with, that is your husband, that is the right guy for you, is also going to be that he is accepting of the boundaries that you have. Point number 7, we're going to discuss the rush. Now, I broke this down into a visual so we can all be on the same page. You are going down this road. You want to get to marriage. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're in the Players Club, that should be what you want. Now, you have this guy. This guy, he's unsure of what he wants. He's going down this path. He's figuring things out. He wants to see where things go. He's going with the flow. That's his lifestyle. That's his prerogative. Here's where women make the mistake of killing their value to the guy. They start trying to rush this guy and drag him onto this road because they meet a guy. You meet this guy and you like this guy. You like his vibe. You like how he looks. You like his aesthetic. You feel like he's a good fit for you. The only problem is he's going down this path and you want him and you to be going down this path. So you kind of rush him and try to basically drag him into being on this path. Let me tell you why this kills your value. Because men understand that they're less likely, pretty much unlikely, to change what their own desires are for themselves. So if they come into the relationship not even seeing marriage as valuable, you're not going to convince them through your words that marriage is all of a sudden valuable. It does not work like that. What also happens is you come across very, very, very desperate when you begin having the approach of being like, oh, well, no, we need to get married in the next year. I have a timeline. I need to get married by this time. I need to get pregnant by this time. I need to have children by this time. So come on, we gotta speed things up. We haven't been on enough dates. We need to do this next. We need to do that. I promise you, I know you're excited. I know you want your relationship. I know you want everything to look as perfect as you're imagining it to look, but you also have to understand when you begin trying to rush or urge men to do things that they don't seem to be ready for at all, you will always lose that way. Always lose. Always, always lose. Even if the guy goes ahead and he does the things that you want on the timeline that you want, you'll eventually realize after the fact, after you've been together or after you've been married for a while, that he'll say, yeah, honestly, I really didn't want this. I was just kind of going with what you wanted, more or less, right? And you'll realize that the respect and the value that he should have for you in this relationship, he doesn't have. And the only reason he was taking action is because you were the one progressing this so much. Number 8, we're going to discuss joy. Now, you and this man equals fun. That's good. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere and anytime at all down here in the deep blue sea. Some of you know where that reference is from. That's perfectly fine. I'm not saying you're a bad person if you enjoy spending time with your man. Here is where some of you will kill your own value with the guy that you're with. Let's say, for the sake of example, you and your guy, the guy that you're talking to, were supposed to go to like a group dinner where you're going to have a combination of single people, people who are in relationships, and people who are in relationships but just don't bring their partner to the dinner, right? Maybe it's a big group one. And you guys are supposed to go to this group dinner. And your guy's supposed to come with you. So you're super excited. You're like, oh yeah, my man's gonna come with me. I'm gonna be on his arm. He's gonna protect me. I'm gonna feel safe. I'm gonna look so good. We're gonna look like a cute couple. We're gonna take nice pictures for the gram. Maybe one of us will post it on our story. We might soft launch. Okay, we might. That's how the kids do it nowadays, right? We might soft launch on the gram tonight. So you're super hyped. You're super excited. And then let's say, for the sake of example, right, something comes up in his work week that makes it so that he can't make this group dinner. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, so now I'm just going to spend time with the girls without my man there? I don't think I'm going to go. And he tells you, yeah, you know, I don't think I can go because of work, because of this, because of that. And you're like, oh, that's such a bummer. I honestly, like, it's not even going to be fun without you there. So I guess I'll just stay at home. And he's like, no, go out with your girlfriends, enjoy yourself, have some fun. And you're like, no, because it's not the same. Like, we were supposed to go together, and it's just not going to be fun if it's just me and the girls, because they're going to be with their men. And then I'm just going to be third wheel. You do not look how you want to look when you approach or address a situation like that. It's okay for you to have your own life. You're allowed as a woman, you know, this is 2025, right? You're allowed as a woman to enjoy your life, even if your man's not there. You know that, right? It's actually expected that as a grown adult, especially when you first start talking to a guy and you guys are still getting to know each other, you've had your own life since before you started dating that guy. So the expectation isn't that just because you start dating that guy that you don't have fun in any places that he's not there with you. It also communicates a lot of times that you have a very codependent personality, which really isn't very attractive to most men. I'll just be super honest with you. Unless he has a really, really codependent personality where he wants to be around you 24/7 and on your hip, most men don't respond positively to women who have a very extreme codependent personality, because they start to feel like, well, I can't do anything for myself. Or they start to feel guilty when they're like, damn, I kind of want to be by myself today. Or I kind of want to just go into the other room and just like chill, like not have you like right here breathing on my neck. Like, we're all human beings. Sometimes we want to be by ourselves. That's okay. That's not a crime. And I also don't want you to kill your value by coming across as codependent because you don't know how to enjoy yourself or have fun outside of being with your man, or your man being along, like with you wherever it is that you're going. Okay? You can go out with your girlfriends. In fact, I encourage that. I don't want you to stop that just because you have a boyfriend or you start talking to a guy. I'm not saying you guys all have to go to the club every weekend and shake your ass to Sexy Red, but going out with your girlfriends, having relationships with your family members, spending time with them as well without your man there, and still enjoying yourself is such a healthy part of communicating to men. Yes, you get my time and you get access to me, but other people also desire to have my time and have access to me in both a platonic way and, you know, in a friendship way where I have family, I have friends, they all want to spend time with me. I'm a desirable human being. I'm a desirable energy to be around. So yes, you're competing with the other guys who also want to be with me romantically, but you're also competing with the other people in my life who love being around me because I'm a lovable person. Number 9, self-care. Okay? This is one that a lot of women get misconstrued, so I'm going to explain this to you how I really mean this. Self-care. See this pie chart I drew here? Okay, it's not exact science, but this is what your self-care should look like. Because really and truthfully, as a woman, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a secret, okay? We men, we desire you the most when you are investing in yourself the most. Prioritize yourself over anything else, and you will always be happy with your results, especially as it relates to how men respond to you, okay? Now, I wrote down some of the things that self-care consists of, and you're going to notice a theme here. So let's say hair, nails, grooming, skin, all of these things can be adjusted, worked on, that don't require you to look like Megan Good or Kim Kardashian or whoever, right? You can do all of these things and work on these things and take care of yourself without having to make a drastic change. All it takes is focused energy on saying, hey, this matters to me. I'm going to make sure to actually do my hair. I don't want to look like a zombie today. I'm going to make sure I take care of my nails. I take care of my grooming. I take care of my skin. Do the best I can so that my presentation actually looks how I want to be received by people. Okay? Now, these things are more mental and spiritual. So peace, relaxation, getting rid of stress, right? And planning, I'll get to in a second. But let's focus on these three right now, right? Peace, relaxation, and getting rid of stress is all about understanding, how do I manage my spirit? How do I have my mental and my spiritual in the right place so that I can have that so-called magical fairy dust spilling all over the place, which is really just your feminine energy that's really magnetic and attractive, but you have to be in the right place mentally and spiritually to have that magnetic feminine energy, okay? So if you haven't taken care of some of your traumas that keep you anxious, that put you on edge, those are things that you're going to have to address, because that's addressing your peace. Also, making sure that you're giving yourself time in your week to relax, to not constantly be feeling like you're fighting back and forth with your week, right? And feeling like, oh, I'm always so stressed. I never have any time for yourself. Making time for yourself. This also goes back to availability. Remember what I talked about when I was saying, hey, don't just say, oh, well, I had a plan to relax today, so instead of relaxing, I'll go and spend time with this guy, right? Give yourself you time, okay? Give yourself that time so that you have the ability to, when you are actually showing up on your dates, when you are actually spending time with that guy, you're bringing the right energy to the date, right? You're bringing the right energy to the hangout. Because guys are going to feel that. And if you have so much stress and anxiety and you're like on edge when you get on the date, the way that you're talking, the way that you're walking, the way that you present yourself is all going to represent that. I guarantee you, even though men are a little bit emotionally stunted, they still experience and feel that. Now, the other thing here is planning. Okay? Now, planning seems like, what does that have to do with self-care? That doesn't make any sense. Here's how planning relates to self-care. When you plan and organize your schedule for the upcoming week, you actually do that work. What it allows you to do is to say, this time is for work, this time is for my friends, this time is for my family, this time is for myself and no one else. This time is free for me to go out and spend time with other people, go on dates, do whatever, right? That planning actually helps you be relaxed throughout the week, have less stress, and be more at peace. Because even if your week is busy, you don't feel like you're constantly catching up to your week. You ever left your house in the morning and you're just feeling like, even if you're not that late, you just feel like you're behind. Like you just have this constant anxiety of like, I'm constantly failing. Like I'm late right to work. Then you get to work and you feel like you're catching up on all the projects that you have to do. Then even after you get to work, you're like, I have a million things to do when I get home. And you feel like you're constantly just running your entire week from behind, trying to catch up to your week. Planning, organizing, and scheduling your life to a T is what allows you to go through your week and not feel like you're always catching it from behind or running from behind it. You feel like you're on top of your week. You feel like you're conquering your week. You feel like you're accomplishing things, and then you subsequently have a lot more relaxation, a lot less stress, and you can bring that energy into your dates. You can bring that energy to the guy that you're dating, and you can properly present yourself how you want to. This is why it kills your value, because a lot of women, they don't bother to take care of themselves properly. They spend majority of their energy on others and majority of their energy outputting to other things. They do not plan. So they're constantly in stress mode. They're constantly in fight or flight. They're constantly like, well, since I don't have time and I'm running from behind, I can't take care of my hair. I can't take care of my nails. I can't do any of the stuff I wanted to do for myself. So let's just look like a bum and just go about it, right? Then you have this snowball effect. You're investing in others, giving yourself no time. It's stressing you out more. You're losing more of your feminine energy. You're constantly in fight or flight mode and everything falls apart. And the guys receive that as, oh, this is not the woman that I actually want to be with because she doesn't even have the desirability, the magnetic ability, the aura that I want in the type of woman that I know I would want to be with or that I'm attracted to. Number 10, confusion. Now, I wrote out this diagram. I hope it's not very confusing to represent how this works. We have two statements here. I have a girl best friend forever. And let's see where things go. Okay? There are two types of women in this world. There are naive women and there are smart women. Now, I tell you all the time about the fact that guys, they learn their behavior. When I say they learn their behavior over the course of time, in trying things on different women, they understand some things will work on some women and some things will not work on some women. As they get to know you, they're always trying to gauge and understand which one of these women are you and what can they get away with, because the smart women will not accept certain things and the naive women, they'll accept it. So in these two statements here, what I mean by confusion is both of these statements create a gray area. In this sense, the gray area is I have a girl best friend. So we hang out, we spend time together one-on-one, but we're platonic. We slept together once or twice before, but it wasn't really a thing and we realized we're better off as friends. So we haven't done anything in a while. So we just hang out, but don't worry, you're still my girlfriend, right? But that's a gray area. This gray area is in saying, hey, I want to spend time with you. I want to be around you, but I don't know what capacity I want to be around you. I don't know where I want the relationship to end up being. I don't know what I want it to look like, but let's just spend time with each other. Definitely sleep together. Definitely let me hit it from the back. Definitely let me do that. But also, let's just kind of see where things develop and how they develop, right? That's another gray area. All of those gray areas lead to confusion. Smart women will not allow confusion to be present in any of their relationships because all of that confusion only ends up making them suffer because they waste a bunch of their time. The guy extracts what he wants from that woman. And then afterwards he says, yeah, my bad that I wasted your time. Okay. And you're just left with a apology, if that. The naive woman, they wait around because they're like, oh, even though I'm confused, even though we don't have direction here, even though a lot of the stuff that we're doing doesn't really make a lot of sense or have any forward momentum or direction, I like you a lot and you're a really attractive guy. You're like the first guy that's ever been tall, dark, and handsome. You're like the first guy that's ever had a super amazing D game. You're like the first guy I've ever talked to that's over 6 foot. So because of that, I feel like, I'll just, go along with this confusion and allow, even though the situation doesn't make sense, even though when I talk to my girlfriends, I can't really explain what we're doing here, even though when I tell my family about you, I'm telling them about something that really doesn't exist because I'm exaggerating what we have done and what our relationship really is. I still want to be with you and hope that it works. So I'll just go along with the confusion, accept it, and hopefully, eventually, it will all make sense. It never does. But like I say, the men, they learn who they can try certain things with. So when you show them that you're one of these naive women that will accept this type of confusion, they'll say, oh, perfect. I know exactly what category she's in, and I know exactly how I'm going to go about this relationship, how I'm going to treat her, how I'm going to approach this. Because if she's a naive woman, if she's a woman that will just accept anything, even accept this confusion, well, then I can downgrade her in my mind. I'm not going to stop talking to her, right? Not going to stop getting access to her. Not going to stop hitting it from the back, for sure not. But what I am going to do is continue allowing this confusion to just fester in our entire relationship. She'll accept it. And even when she addresses it, I'll just say, oh, well, I was seeing where things going and I just haven't been ready for a relationship. Oh, well, me and that girl, the reason that we slept together again was simply because we weren't talking, we were in a fight, but I didn't know. If I would have known, I wouldn't have made it happen. We were drunk, whatever, right? And so guys will try to trick you that way because they have already devalued you, knowing you're a woman that accepts that type of confusion.